All right, guys, I'm going to be getting into this right away this morning. It's 10:30. I'm done trading, and the only thoughts that I am having right now are that I'm a loser. The universe doesn't want me to succeed in life for whatever reason, and that there is somebody who is watching me trade, who is actively making sure that when I'm in something, it goes down. And when I decide to get out, hey, let's pump it. That's all I can think about right now. I'm sad and I'm angry, and I just don't get it. I'm technically in year 5. I'm in year 5 of day trading. I started in the simulator at the end of 2017, and I was in that for about a year and a half. And, you know, I could never end the day green. It was just all red days. And then, you know, as time went on, I began to notice the actual patterns and where I should be getting in and you know, just kind of catching on a little bit. And then I was ending the day green a little bit. And then over the last, I guess, 2 years, I've been in this phase of, I have some green streaks. I can get green, but then I just take a lot of losing trades, and then I take big losing trades. And then I have days like today where I'm losing $150, and I should not be losing that much, right? I mean, just like I said before, a couple of videos ago, my max loss per day is $40 to $60. But like yesterday, the most I was up today, just like yesterday, was like $35. And when I was up that amount, I was like, okay, we're green, we're doing okay. You know, then I took a red trade and another red trade, another red trade. And before I know it, I'm back to zero, and I'm just really just fucking pissed. And I'm just like, God fucking damn it. And yeah, I'm an extremely emotional person, and this is just how I've always been. And it's like, oh, well, maybe you're just not cut out for this. But I want everything that being a successful trader brings. I want a lot of money. I want the freedom. And I've invested so much time into this, and it still seems possible, but I can't fucking do it yet. Maybe that's just a bigger symptom of me as a person, or I don't know if it's me or if it's those 3 things that I mentioned before, that I'm just a loser. The universe doesn't want Adam to fucking win, or there is somebody watching me. But of course, those are all irrational. But this is the state that I get into. All right. Let's get into my trades. Ending the day down 152. My big loser was on ATXG. I lost 136. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so here's my first trade. It was on ATXG. We're getting this 1-minute dip down into this support level. I got in with 65 shares, and now I'm just looking for this thing to squeeze up. So it's popping up a little bit, and right here we can see it's, you know, squeezing up, and I'm holding it. I'm like, all right, let's hold it until my profit target. I have my order out here set at the upper band of VWAP. All right, we're still holding up, and then, you know, we can see here it's squeezed up, and I locked up $18 of profit there. All right, good first trade, fantastic. All right, my next trade was on BEAT. So right here, we got this dip into this support level. I believe this was the pre-market high. So I bought 200 shares at 220 basically, and now I'm looking for this thing to ramp back up to the highs. So we're still holding up, and then right there we get more of a touch to the 9 moving average, but I still haven't been stopped out yet. I'm going to stop out, I think, below 210, and we're still holding up. And then right here we get a push up, and we're coming up into 225, and I'm thinking that we're not going to be able to break 225. So I go ahead and sell it, and I locked up $7 on that trade. So let's see what else I did here. All right, so it looks like we're about to get the break of 25, but we don't actually get the break. So this might be my first mistake that I made, was that we didn't actually get the break of 225. So I got in at 225 with 200 shares, and we begin rejecting off of that level. And let's see. So we came up and we tested 25 a second time here, but now we have this triple top at 225 and it rejects, and I go ahead and cut it. And now I'm down $3 on the stock. So I think I lost about 10 bucks on that trade. So there's my first loss. Okay. And then we get an even bigger pullback here, and I get in with 200 shares at 209. So right there, I just went ahead and cut it, and then I'm back up $3. So I made $6 back on that trade that I just took. All right, so my next trade was also on BEAT. So I'm getting this dip down back into this 209 level because I'm thinking that we're just going to hold these levels and then curl up. So I'm in with 200 shares at 209. We're getting a bounce, and I go ahead and sell it. Yeah, I'm selling it right here at 212. So I'm only making like 2 or 3 cents on this thing. And now I'm up 8. But as we're going to see, right, this thing just continues to shoot up, and it does wind up making it up to this yellow line here. So that's profit that I'm leaving on the table. But I think at that point, I might have been up, I'm not even sure, maybe 30. All right, so my next trade was on LSTA. So I took this trade because we were at the lows, like we were near the lows, and this thing had really big range. So I was thinking that this was a decent entry. So I got in with 50 shares at 747, and I'm going to be stopping out if it comes below $7. So I'm looking for this thing to maybe squeeze up to 8, which is the 200 moving average, maybe even 885, which was VWAP. So we're kind of holding up, kind of just going sideways. And right there, we start to get a bigger squeeze. We hit 770. And then right there, we get that push up into the $8 range. And I go ahead and sell it, and I lock up $12. I didn't get the best fill because the spreads were kind of big. So I think after this trade maybe was when I was up the most. Maybe I was up, I think I was up $39 altogether was the most I was up. And I was like, okay, we're doing well. We're at that point. And, when I started backing off that level was when my emotions really started to take off, because I just want to make it to my profit target, which is $60 to $100 a day, which is not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable for me to think that should be something that I can do every day. Based on the size that I'm taking, I should be able to do that. All right, what's my next trade? Okay, here we go. BEAT. Man, this is the one that got the ball rolling to the downside. And before I got in this trade, I had a feeling. I'm like, this is going to be a false breakout. This is going to be a false breakout. But do I ignore that? Because this is what I'm talking about. The universe, whoever's watching me trade, if I didn't take that trade, I would have missed out on profit. And the reason I say that is because I stay out of a trade or I sell it early and it goes up. I get into a trade and I decide to hold it, it goes down. But, that goes back to an idea that I thought of once that, it sounded great, but I don't really adhere to it, which is that it's better to miss out on profit than to lose. And so when I feel like I'm faced with that decision of where I'm like, oh man, this seems like a situation where I'm going to get in and it's going to go down, or I'm going to stay out and it's going to go up. It's like choosing between those, I should probably stay out. That's what I'm talking about. It just gets confusing and just weird when I'm trying to figure out like, what should I have done and what should I do moving forward? So BEAT, I'm looking at this thing for a new 5-minute high here. So for a break of 220. So we're getting the break. We just got the break of 220. This is the 1-minute chart. We were just looking at the 5-minute on BEAT. Yep, so here's the 5-minute. I'm about to press play on this so we can just watch it happen. So there we go. I just bought 200 shares for that break. And as we can see, it's not holding up at all. It's rejecting. And I have to stop out. I have to. And, you know, let's see, I'm down $12 on it now. I think I lost, let's see, what was I up on that before the trade? Before the trade, I was up 18, and then when I sold it, so I lost 20. I'm going to press play and show you why I sell where I sell and why I do it when I do it. Because at these points where I'm thinking I have to sell, these are the drops that happen, right? So I sold it right before that big drop, which is good because this was very obviously a false breakout. But I had a feeling that this was going to happen, but I took the trade anyway. It's just so confusing. So after this trade, you know, that's when I was really triggered, if you will. And this seems to be a pattern that I get kind of green, I'm working my way up, and then I back off, and then I lose it all, and then I get into the red, and then I maybe get deep into the red. There's something that happens when I'm working my way there, and then I back off, right? There's something there that I need to change, I need to fix. You know, maybe I size down when I get to that point because I know when I get to that point, I'm vulnerable. Something. I don't just want to walk away. I don't just want to be done trading. I don't know. But I need to figure that out because I can't keep having these massive red days anymore because I'm losing actual money, right? Like so far this week, I'm down. God, how much am I down? I'm down about 300 this week. So that's what I'm going to work on tomorrow, right? Is when I get those wins and when I get to that point, I guess it's like when I'm up like $40, like 30 to 40 bucks, that's when I'm like, oh man, something can happen here. Something bad can happen here. But then I also need to work on holding my winning trades longer, not taking dumb trades and so on and so forth. All right, let's keep going here. All right, so while I was trading BEAT, I missed a good trade on ATXG, a trade that I was considering taking, right? So we can see right here, right? I'm going to rewind and go back to, so here's ATXG, right? I was looking for it to come into VWAP at around 644, and I would have taken that dip trade. And, you know, we can see it working its way down. We're at 650. And then boom, I'm switching over to beat because it looks like we're about to make that new 5-minute high. And then I switch back to ATXG. I'm looking at that. And for, you know, this is where I could have gotten in, was right here, but I just didn't get in it. And so I'm about to get into BEAT, and then I take that loss. And then I go back to ATXG and I see that I missed this rip from 640 all the way up to 7. So I've given back almost half of my gains off the top, you know, going from about $40 to being up about $20. I missed this good trade. And so at this point, there was all this opportunity to have hit my profit target, and I'm only at $20. And so I'm frustrated and I'm annoyed. And I'm like, okay, we're going to keep trading. We're going to take good trades. We're going to make money. Let's do this. So I took, this was a very stupid trade here, but I took 200 shares at 667 and I'm up $18 on this trade. I could have sold it, right? But I'm like, no, dude, no. I want this thing to squeeze up to 7 and break 7. And it's like, I'm in such a risky position. And like I've said, when I get profit, I need to lock it up because, you know, what's the alternative here, right? You know, what's the decision that I feel like I come to? I hold it, it goes against me. I sell early, it keeps going up. But the whole point of the game is to lock up profit. So I have it, I'm up $18, and I'm thinking, God, I just want this to continue to squeeze up. And so, you know, it's bouncing around, it's backing off again. And then boom, it sells off. And I can't accept it. I can't accept the fact that I could have sold it because I was up, but now I'm down significantly, and I'm in the red now. If I were to sell it right here, I would have been down, I think, $25 on the day. And I'm like, no, this thing is holding up. We're going to get that curl up. It's going to happen. And this is where this stock really messed with my head. And it's on trades like this where all those negative thoughts that I have come in, where I'm a loser. I don't know what I'm doing. The universe is against me. There's somebody watching me and they are actively trading against me, because we're going to see what happens here. So I added to this trade. I have 400 shares now at 580 or at 658. Big position. This thing could easily flush down, which it winds up doing, because I wind up down on the stock 136. So I'm being dumb, and my emotions have gotten the best of me. I've now been thrown off the balance beam, right? Because trading is like a balancing act. And for me, the type of person that I am and the type of person that I need to not be anymore, I'm an extremely emotional person. And I've always been this way. And negative. I'm a negative person as well. And I really don't want to be. And it's like, I know that in order for me not to be this way, I really need to do a good job of taking care of myself, like exercising regularly and eating well and taking care of myself, which I'm not that great at doing that, right? And then I do other things that mess with me, like smoke weed, right? You know, I'm just airing it all out, because this is the truth of me. I smoke too much weed. I don't take proper care of myself. I allow my mind to be totally corrupted. And then I try to do something as difficult as trading. And it's like, you really have to be balanced. And I get thrown off balance. And then before you know it, I'm really hurting myself. And I'm not being smart, because my emotions get so strong and I'm chasing after that pleasure of winning that it just doesn't happen. And I wind up hurting myself instead. But this is the truth, right? You know, this is the truth. I know when I first started my channel, I tried to put on this happy face and try to act like something I wasn't. You know, this is the truth of me. I'm a mess, and I'm trying to learn how to trade. And I'm sticking with it, you know, because I got nothing to lose besides my money. I've got whatever, right? All right, so enough of that rant. So let's see here. I'm down $50, and it's holding up at this level. So I'm thinking, okay, the possibility of it squeezing up is there. Of course, I'm sitting here just like my heart's pounding. I'm annoyed, but let's see what happens. So I sold it. I actually wound up selling it, and I'm up $10 on the stock. I don't know what I was up before I took that trade, or what my position was before I took that trade. Let's see. So before I took that trade, I was up $18, and then when I decided to get out, I had lost $8. So that's decent. You know, I was down 50. You know, that's another loss that I'm taking. I'm not sure how much I'm up on the day. I think I'm maybe only up $10 at this point or something. I'm not sure, but I'm dwindling it away. And then look at this. Squeezes up to 673. I was in with 400 shares at, let's see, I think I was at 558 or 658. Yeah, so 658, 400 shares. And I'm looking for this thing to curl up, but I'm just like, dang it, I need to sell it because I don't want to take a big loss. But you see how that affects things when you're oversized, is you can't think clearly because you're just worried about taking a big loss and you're not focused on actually trading well. But what happens is it starts to curl up, and it squeezes up to a high there of, you know, 677. which if I had sold it there, which, you know, I probably wouldn't have, I don't know. But the whole idea is to lock it up when you have it. Just to lock it up when you have, or lock up some, right? I think that's what I need to get good at, is locking up some and then stopping out for the rest, break even, and then selling the rest if it pops up. All right, so, but what does it do? I think it backs off of that level. So switching to the 5 minute on ATXG, right? We're getting this curl back up. And, you know, I'm up that $10. We're up at 676 now, right? Which is the level that it had come up into. And now I'm getting in for the break of this candle, which is probably a dumb trade, right? But I'm looking for this thing to squeeze up to 731. So I'm in with 200 shares at 676, which is not the best trade at all, because I'm probably oversized. The downside potential is too large, like where I would be cutting my loss. But we get a little bit of a squeeze up to 692. And as we can see, I'm up $20 on this trade here. Again, I could have sold it. I could have locked up that profit. But again, the decision is I sell it, it continues higher. I hold it, it goes down. Those are the two decisions that I'm always having to choose between, it seems like. So I think it just winds up backing off that level. So it backs off and I wind up adding to it. So now I'm in with 400 shares again, but this time I'm at 666. 666, fantastic. All right, so let's see what happens. It's holding up and I'm just like, come on, just squeeze up over that level. Right. And this is something that tends to happen when I'm in these situations, is that I'll average down and then the price will come up into my average and not break it. It'll just come up into the average. And I'm like, just squeeze up just a little bit more. And then it comes down even more. And I average in again. And then so my average is lower. And then it comes up right into my average. And it doesn't really squeeze above it. And I'm just like, come on, just go above my average so I can just make a quick little gain. And it just doesn't do that. So it's really annoying. And that's the situation that I found myself in here. So let's see. So we're getting a bigger pullback. So now we're on the 1 minute. We're at 653. I'm down $54 on this trade. We're getting a bigger pullback. Now I'm down 84. And, you know, this is when I'm just full blown panicking inside and just feeling so negative, and because I'm just like, man, it's like I was balancing at the beginning and then I stumble a little bit and then boom, I just completely fall off. So we're just going sideways. I wind up adding to it again right there. So now I'm in with a total of 600 shares at 657. So 657. I just wanted to pop up a little bit above 657. I really want to see this thing make a squeeze like to 680 or 690. Because that would have been a decent trade. I would have made like 120, maybe 150 bucks. But that's not if the universe doesn't want me to, it seems. So let's see. So we're bouncing up a little bit there. Okay, so we got to push up to 653. I'm just like, come on, just make the bounce up. Okay, here we go. So I'm in at 657, and we're getting a bit of a push up here. I'm going to rewind this, and then we can watch it actually play out. So I'm sitting there like, come on, let's go. Let's get that rip up. Boom, we come up into 660, and I'm like, okay, and we're right at my entry, right? We're just like right at my entry. We hit a high there of 661, and we're not holding, and boom. Just a massive drop off there. And I'm just like, why does God hate me? Why does the universe hate me? Who is watching me right now? Why couldn't it just happen to me? Why couldn't I just get the big move up? Why? Again, it's the situation of I sell it, it goes up. I hold it, it goes against me. And then boom, it really sells off there. And I'm like, man, I really have to sell this thing now. And it just really drops off hard. And I lost 136 on that. And that was my trading day. It's like, man, I'm just balancing and then I fall off a cliff. And dude, I feel like absolute shit. Just all around, mentally, physically. Like, I'm not in a good way. And I'm trying to day trade and learn how to day trade. I'm trying to stay healthy, trying to be happy, and just nothing is working. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but that was my day. I ended the day down 150. So there we go. You guys got to witness what a snowball day looks like for me. Because that's what today was. All right, guys, those are the trades. Please leave a like and please subscribe. All right, guys, see you in the next one.